Hello everyone, in this video we'll be solving problem 165, compare version numbers. The problem statement is, we are given two version strings, version 1 and version 2. We need to compare and return appropriate output. If version 1 is less than version 2, return -1, else return 1, and if both of them are equal, then return 0. If there are multiple revisions in a given version number, we need to compare their value from left to right order. If one of the version string has fewer revisions, treat the missing revisions as 0. In example number 1, version 1 is 1.2 while version 2 is 1.10. If we split the entire string using period as a separator, we'll have 1 and 10 on the right hand side and 1, 2 on the left hand side. On the left hand side, 1 and 1 are equal, but between 2 and 10, 10 is greater, hence the output is -1. Let's switch to whiteboard and discuss how we can solve it. Let's use this as our example. Because we are comparing two strings, the ideal way to go about is to use a two pointers approach, where the first pointer will be pointing at string 1 while the other pointer will be pointing at string 2. We'll try to extract all of the values using period as the separator and then compare with each other. If the leftmost revision is equal between the two versions, only then we'll move towards the right hand side and compare its corresponding values. But if one of the value is greater than the other one, then we do not need to move towards the right and we can immediately return an output. Let's do a quick try run by splitting the entire string using period as the separator. On the left hand side, the first value will be 1 on both of the strings v1 and v2. As the two values are equal, we need to increment our pointers and look at the next character in the string. The next comparison is between the number 2 on the left hand side and number 02 on the right hand side. Ignoring the leading 0 on the right hand side, the two values are still equal. So we need to increment our pointers and compare the next characters. The next segment is the last segment where we have 3 on the left hand side and 41 on the right hand side. As 41 is greater than 3, which means version 2 is greater than version 1, which implies that our output should be -1. This is one simplest and efficient solution to solve this problem. The time complexity of this solution is O of max m, n, where m and n are the number of characters in string s1 and s2. The reason it is max is because we are using two pointers and the maximum number of iterations we will have to do will depend on the maximum characters between the two strings. While the space complexity is going to be O of 1 as we are not using any additional memory to store the values. We are simply collecting the value in each of these segments for comparison and then replacing it with the next segment. I hope you are able to understand this explanation. Let me show you how we can implement this using C#. In this C# implementation, I've initialized two variables that will be used as two pointers I and j, while two variables n1 and n2 that represent the size of the corresponding strings version 1 and version 2. After that, I'm starting a while loop until both pointers I and j are less than the corresponding length of the strings. Inside the while loop, we need to start collecting all of the characters using period as the separator. This is done inside this while loop until I is not pointing at a period. The number calculated in the previous one is multiplied by 10 so that all of the spaces or units can be shifted one space towards the left, and then the current character that I is pointing is appended to it on the units place. Once the num1 value is calculated from string 1, then we are repeating the same cycle for version 2 to get num2. Now that we have both n1 and n2, we are comparing the corresponding values to determine if one is greater than the other. If yes, then I'm returning 1 or -1. If both are equal, which means we need to continue the comparison with the next segment in the string. In that case, I'm incrementing both of my pointers so that we can move past the dot. If we completed the comparison and we did not find version 1 or 2 being greater than the other one, we'll return 0 as the output. This code when submitted on LeetCode beats 100% of the submissions in terms of runtime and nearly 84% in terms of memory. Thank you for watching this video. I hope the explanation was helpful. The details to access the source code is available in the description below. Feel free to check that out and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.